YouTube, what's going on? HeirofCarthage here, back in Total War Warhammer 2. This time we're going to be doing a little multiplayer. I've been jumping into quick battle, and I've been playing a ton of High Elves. I don't know why, I just feel like being on a High Elves kick right now. I'm enjoying Alarielle, and yeah, which is weird, because she didn't have anything to do with the patch, really, but that's what I'm liking. And I'm playing up against Clan Scryer. I'm going to give you all a quick rundown. My build is pretty cheesy, but that's because I'm playing Skaven, and they like cheese. Did you all know that? So I've got 6 archers up front, 6 silver helms in the back. I've also got 2 Illyrian reavers that are vanguard deployed behind Clan Scryer. I've got Alarielle the Radiant and a noble on a steed. And let's take a look at Clan Scryer. Leading them, they're going to have over here a Greyseer of Ruin. There's another plague priest over here with the furnace, and then some crappy Skaven slaves amidst the Blight Scabs Plague Pack. And then he's also got the Regiment of Renowned Zap Warp Lightning Cannon, another Warp Lightning Cannon, 2 Jezzails, which are pretty standard, and then there are 2 Doom Flayers, which are pretty standard too. Now, the basic idea behind a Skaven build such as this, and I don't know that this represents every Skaven build online right now, but it is pretty popular to always bring Flayers, always bring Jezzails, sometimes the Warp Lightning Cannons. Skaven own single entity models from range, and then when the player feels forced to attack, they come flying in, and they get smashed by Doom Flayers because they are ridiculously good against infantry. Sometimes I've seen these builds with Rat Ogres, and I actually think that that can be pretty effective too, but in this case, they're trying to just box up and hammer me from a distance to where my main troops will get ruined, and I won't be able to do anything about it, but I knew that this was the kind of build that they were going to pick, something with a little bit of mobility and then a ton of skirmishing power. So I brought a ton of skirmishing power and spread it out all over the map. My opponent does have a lot of artillery, but what's he going to target? 1 of 6 cavalry? 1 of 6 archers? Or does he ignore them and target my single entity models? He might kill one, but he's going to be ignoring a whole lot of other problems. And then, along with that, because I've forward deployed my cavalry, I'm going to be able to come and put some secret pressure on his artillery. At least that's my hope. So I'm now in range with my 6 units of archers, and I'm going to start unloading on 1 Jezzail unit, and also those Plague Monk Censer Bearers. They're going to be very weak. Jezzails have decent armors and actually a pretty good shield, but under this type of volley, they're going to die. And it's the same thing with these Plague Monks. And then you can see here, he didn't see it coming, and so my Illyrian Reaver comes in and shuts down the Zap, and my second Illyrian Reaver is moving around, and it's going to keep some of his units busy so he can't focus up front. He gets a little too close with his Greyseer, trying to summon some clan rats on me and get cute, so I'm going to bring the Noble up. The Noble will make short work of that Greyseer. And then I'm going to just give these clan rats a quick charge and allow my archers to continue their work. We've already ruined a Plague Monk Censer Bearer and a Zap Warp Lightning Cannon. And we just got another Warp Lightning Cannon. Illyrian Reavers, very good for this type of work. Coming in unseen and getting the key hits. I'm going to swing on over here with another Illyrian Reaver. I misclicked the charge right here, but I'm going to get a hold of these Warp Block Jezzails and then just keep owning the Skaven from a distance. And my opponent's going to admit defeat. Now, I played him again with a tree build that I'm still perfecting, and he did win that one. He brought a very similar army. I haven't perfected my tree build with Avalorn yet, so I'm not going to show it, because I make videos. I don't want people to see what I'm going to do. It's pretty obvious. I got a tree build, so there's going to be some trees, right? I'm working on that one. But this one did work out in this case. Will it work out in every case? Nah, probably not. You know, the Skaven might be able to have enough infantry to rush out and pressure all your archers, but Skaven don't like dealing with heavy cavalry. Doom Flayers are better at it than you would think, so don't underestimate them, and archers are pathetically bad versus Doom Flayers. So again, don't underestimate that, but with that much cavalry, his Doom Flayers aren't going to be able to do it, and whenever you're bringing Warplock Jezzails and Doom Flayers and all these other things, it means your infantry is going to be crap, almost across the board. And so crap infantry can't really do much against a whole bunch of heavy cavalry. So if I have enough heavy cavalry to get rid of the stuff that I have to worry about, like a Rat Ogre or a Doom Flayer, game over. So long, Skaven. So that's going to take care of them. This may not work every time, but, you know, I hear people saying, and they may be right in some regards, some people saying, oh, Jezzails are OP, or oh, Doom Flayers are OP. Try some different builds. Make these people taking these builds think about whether they want to take that build every time. This guy took almost the self-same build when I played him twice, And he readies up very quickly, giving you very little time, which means that it's very obvious in my mind that he's got a very cookie-cutter Skaven build in mind. If he's readying up with it over and over again, it's because it's bringing him success in quick battle. So think that through, right? It's an obvious choice. You know what they're going to do, so bring something that is going to give them trouble. And then typically that's going to mean spreading out all over the field. Don't give them any concentrated targets. Don't let them know what target's going to be the best one to shoot, because all of those cavalry need to die. All of those archers need to die. Alarielle needs to die. The noble needs... Everything needed to die. He doesn't really have a good target to shoot with those things by the time I get in and start putting pressure on him with the Illyrian Reavers. So the Illyrian Reavers provide pressure. He starts moving units around. Archers are firing from the front. What do you react to? What do you go do? It forced him to make a mistake, and it worked in this case. Again, my tree build did not work. That one was a lot more infantry heavy, and the Doom Flayers are really good against infantry, and not just infantry. They were even fairly effective against treekin. So I was a little bit shocked by that, but the Doom Flayers are very, very good against that stuff. In this case, he didn't even get to use them because he quit before it happened, realizing that you lost both cannons. His second Jezzail was tied down. One was basically dead and routing. It's actually, sorry, it was a rattling gun team. That explains why it died faster to the archers, actually. And then the Blight Scabs got ruined, so that was free money. His Plague Priest was getting wrecked, so he just dropped out instead of fighting the rest of that. So I do have another battle to show you. I'm going to load into that one. It won't be against this player, but just another fun High Elf battle that I think you all are really going to like. So actually, go ahead and start commentating this one on the loading screen. It's going to be myself versus Rua playing as the Greenskin. You can see his army there, but I'll go ahead and call out the armies. I've got 2 White Lions mixed with 2 Swordmasters of Hoeth, 2 Spearmen. I've got 2 Illyrian Reavers here and 2 Vanguard deployed. I have a Mage of Life on a steed back here, a Noble, and a Princess on a Star Dragon. I was looking to get the cheapest Star Dragon with a leader that I could get. The Greenskins have an interesting one. It's going to be Azag the Slaughterer. And they did not bring any Black Orcs, which means that they may have been hoping that I would have brought more Archers and more Spearmen, because Savage Orcs are going to be... these are Savage Orc Biggins. They're going to be good against lightly armored infantry, and they're pretty darn good against large targets as well, if they can hold their leadership together. And Azag has Spirit Leech and looks like Purple Sun, going to be his 2 spells, and he's also got a couple of squigs rolling around. And then the typical light cavalry that I expected here, I'm chasing it off with an Illyrian Reaver. This is a fair trade for me to push these 2 units off with only one of my own. So I'm going to take that trade. I'm going to push him with my Star Dragon. He can't attack me with Azag. It's too risky. And I'm soaking up his magic. He's getting desperate. He wants to Spirit Leech me. I mean, all he has to use is magic on a Spirit Leech and Purple Sun. So, I mean, I don't know that it's a waste. But it's fine. I can absorb some of that because I have a Mage of Life, which I forgot in the back of the battlefield, by the way. I do remember to bring them up here in just a moment. I lost track of this Illyrian Reaver, which was chasing a Squig herd, and accidentally hit this Savage Biggin. Not exactly how I wanted this scenario to go down. And my guys do manage to finally catch the Squig herd, though. I wanted to berserk the Squig herd. I'm going to go ahead and hit it from the other direction. I don't want these guys hitting my elite infantry, so that's why I'm focusing on it. Got to get rid of the Squig herds, got to get rid of the light infantry, and then it'll make it more difficult for my opponent to deal with all my heavy infantry that's otherwise superior. He's going to use his Wa before this charge over here. That's actually going to be really good. He's going to do a ton of damage. I've got the Broken Tusk Mob busy on an Illyrian Reaver. Again, I'm kind of okay with that for the moment. I've got my heroes coming in, and what I'm going to do is come try and swing this infantry fight. Look at the pain that these Swordmasters take on the charge from these Savage Orc Biggins. That is impressive. Just downright impressive. He does have this Arachnarok Spider, too, which is going to be very challenging for me to deal with. I'm going to go chase down those Gobos, and his Light Cavalry and his Squig Herd did manage to overcome one of my units there, but not before it did a little bit of damage, so I'm okay, again, with the trade at the moment. I'm going to drop down here, immediately terrify these Biggins, bring the Chariot Noble in, and start wrecking more infantry. So I want to get rid of all the greenskin infantry as quickly as possible, because dealing with that Arachnarok is going to be challenging. I've got to keep my Mage of Life safe, and I'm keeping this Broken Tusk Mob pinned down for a minute. I'm hoping to maybe get a terror route on it with my Dragon, but these Illyrian Reavers are not doing well, so I don't know if it's going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and dive in over here and see if we can potentially get a terror route. I should have dove in from behind, but I was in too much of a hurry there. But we're still going to do some good damage. Unfortunately, though, the Tusk Mob can do good damage to me. Trying to get rid of these Savage Biggins over here. They did not get as good a charge versus my Swordmasters. So they are paying a big price. I did manage to wreck through these guys, but unfortunately this Swordmaster is now engaged with the Squig Herd, which is just really not a good engagement for them. And my Illyrian Reavers did get chased off in the attempt, I say the attempt, the successful attempt to kill the Doom Diver catapult. And then I get a purple sun dropped right on top of my Swordmasters there, and that hurts. Azag has done some damage. I do get regrowth though, which is going to be good. It's going to replenish my vigor, and that's not a bad thing right now. Azag was sitting dead still, so I pummeled him with a breath attack and got some good damage done. The thing with Azag is he can't heal, and that's why he's desperate not to take a fight with me right now. Now, my mage did get caught down here amongst the broken tusk mob, and this is unfortunate. Or, sorry, my noble. He's dead. He's very, very dead. He's on a big target surrounded by anti-large, and he's going to be all kinds of dead. I did want to drop in and put a little damage on the Arachnarok Spider, but I realized that this is absolute lunacy, and I have to get out of here immediately. I'm going to bring in whatever infantry I can, try and tie this stuff down. We're cleaning up this side of the battlefield, but I'm not going to have a lot of units left, and I'm getting kind of worried about how I'm going to finish this. Azag was chasing me, and I'm like, that's fine, I can fight. But he then realized that he was a greenskin and a coward at heart, and didn't want any of that fight, but rather he wants to dive in only where it benefits him. Very greenskin of him. Where's the nobility in that, Azag? Come on. Come duel your superior. Take to the skies like a real mushroom man. I have some breath attack left. I would like to blob his units before I use it, and I'm thinking on whether I use it on Azag, because killing Azag is going to really hurt the leadership of his infantry. So I'm kind of torn right now. Do I kill Azag? Do I kill a bunch of his support units? Because even if I kill his support units, killing an Arachnarok and Azag is not going to be easy. And this fight is looking more and more difficult for me at every moment. I'm just really not quite sure how I'm going to win it. When I did a breath attack on Azag, he took off at the last second, and it gets wasted. So I only have one more breath attack, and the bow on the princess has just been woefully bad. Woefully bad. Like, it hasn't hardly landed a shot the entire battle. Just been awful. So I was thinking that the bow might be nice for me to have, but it is well and truly awful. So don't expect the bow from the princess to do any good, unless you're maybe at point blank range, like literally sitting in their face. So at this point I was like, you know what, I have probably lost this battle. But I don't like giving up on battles. I'm gonna fight people to the end. This is, I think, a thing for me. It's and I'm trying not to always do it in a cheesy way, right? But at this point, it's like I do have to retreat, and I've got to see if I can get some good engagement opportunities. And now the onus is on my opponent to be smart with his troops. Don't split up. Don't let my Star Dragon get a hold of his troops. He's got ammo on his Arachnarok Spider. He can challenge me flying over his head. I'm going to get another regrowth in here. I want to heal up my princess as much as possible. And so I see these broken tusk mob. I do not want any of those units to charge my Swordmasters. I need my Swordmasters to come into battle healthy, because I want them to deal as much of their armor piercing as possible. Unfortunately, there's a Wah. This is not good. I went charging in right when he got Wah back. I did terrify the tusk mob. He's going to just dive bomb everything into these Swordmasters, and I'm going to be down yet another unit. You can see the power bar still says it's even. That's because I have a very healthy princess on a Star Dragon. I take opportunity to drop a breath attack here. I tried to target the infantry. I think it actually hit the spider. So my breath attacks have been pretty craptacular so far. Now I'm left with a life mage, some Illyrian Reavers, and some very, very tattered infantry, and a very angry mob of greenskins who are clamoring for my head. So quite a situation to be in. I think I may have just landed a shot on Azag with that bow. It's too bad it doesn't do any damage. So yeah, you can see that the bow has been almost useless in getting any shots on Azag. My mage is now in danger. He doesn't have a ton of magic left, but I might be able to get another healing spell out of him. So I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice these Illyrian Reavers into the tusk mob. And then I want to try and get some work done on Azag while I'm at it. So I'm going to go ahead and charge down here and either kill the tusk mob or kill Azag. I need these guys gone. Azag, of course, runs. He wants nothing to do with the Star Dragon. I can't imagine why. I do get a hit on him, but his Arachnarok buddy is near behind, and so I got to get back in the air. The Arachnarok did pick up a bonus versus large, and this is good. The Greenskins needed that. It's not good for me right now, but it's good for the Greenskins. The Greenskins suffer terribly against large units like the Star Dragon, and this was a good pick by him to bring the Arachnarok Spider. At least I think it was a good pick. So my princess is going to have to find a better engagement. So now my plan is, hey, pull back, single out units like this Savage Orc Biggin. He won't be able to get a spider here quick enough, hopefully. I will have to contend with the Tusk Mob. That actually should have been the first unit that I dive bombed, so that was a mistake. I'm going to pay a bit of a price here, unfortunately. And I get Spirit Leeched as well. Azag really shouldn't have much magic left at this point, though, and fortunately for me, his charge kind of misses there. He whipped that charge, and then the Broken Tusk Mob got out of position, so I'm able to get back in the air. I'm going to use an Earth Blood, and I'm very low on magic. I think I have about 5 wins of magic when this is all said and done. So I want to pick off another unit. I do have some spearmen that regrouped. He's chasing off some of my infantry that had regrouped, so smart move him here with his Morgrub's Mangy Marauders. He now gets very set on killing my shaman because he knows that if he can get rid of this stuff, he can force me to the ground. So it's smart strategy by him. Kill my stuff on the ground. Some of you might think, hey, you're just draw-kiting him. No, I'm not. I'm doing this for a reason. If he has to go after the mage, I can single out his infantry. So he's got to make a choice. Do you go after the mage, or do you stick together? And at this point, he is deciding to break up. So he's splitting his forces. His leader is moving away. This gives me a fantastic opportunity. What you'll see here is I'm drawing Azag back in this direction. I want him right here. I'm going to hit him with the dragon and cut him off, basically. So I'm trying to draw him back into the trap. I do see the Marauders coming, so I got to be careful. I'm going to get cut off myself, so clearly my opponent is hoping to close the back door on me over here. And I actually kind of intend to let him. That's crazy, Air. What are you thinking? Well, his Arachnarok's a little slower than these other units, so I have a quick chance to cause some terror. You can see Azag wants nothing to do with this fight. So his Marauders are easily going to catch my mage. So what am I going to do? I'm going to turn around. We're right next to the edge of the map, so all of a sudden this actually gives me a pretty big strategic advantage that my opponent may or may not have considered. He's a greenskin with low leadership fighting right next to the white line. I'll take this fight. So I'm going to dive down. I'm going to hit these Marauders, and you can see their leadership dropping very, very quickly, as wolves don't really like fighting dragons. Imagine that. However, my mage is being attacked by a giant spider, and you can imagine that that does bring a little terror for most people. It would me. I don't really like spiders. But his Marauders are going to rout, and they're going to go straight off the battlefield. My mage, unfortunately, catches a case of the terror here, too, and almost routs. I think he did rout, actually, because his banner is like changing colors, but he came right back, and right after my mage came back, I actually had enough winds of magic to drop an Earth Blood, and now my magic is completely and utterly gone. There goes the Marauders. Now they have routed, and they're going to rout right off the battlefield, so this works out very well for me. Azag was down on the ground too long. He got attacked, and he routs, unfortunately not dead, but right off the battlefield. So now Azag's gone, and now a fight that was turned against me is looking potentially winnable again, though it's not going to be easy. The spider is going to be hard to kill. I'm going to bring my mage in to tank some damage. I need to turn my dragon around and get another charge bonus. There's too much infantry here. But look at that infantry. Terrified because they don't have leadership. The Arachnarok, I can't terrify. I have a spearman who's coming up, so this is really good for me. I even had a white lion that I was trying to work over here. It has very few unit models. You can see that a mage doesn't hold up well against an Arachnarok spider. Imagine. I know, it's crazy. I can't believe these things. I tried to use the bow again. The bow's not working, and my mage basically dies in the process. So I was like, alright, spider, let's go. Now, I could cycle charge my opponent to death here, easily. But I'm leaving my unit in melee for a while, trying to be somewhat fair about it. I'm not saying I won't charge at all, but I'm not going to necessarily just charge and then straight back into the air and charge and straight back into the air. So I'm going to stay here and fight until my spearmen arrive. I'm going to use the spearmen as a blocker and my mage as a blocker. And then I'm going to get back in the air. And of course my spearmen and my mage do not appreciate having been used as a meat shield. And they both rout. Can't imagine why. So back into combat we go. I get my charge, and it is going to be a very, very tight battle to the finish. I do have the benefit of being on a Star Dragon, which leadership is going to be good. And my Lord is on the Star Dragon. The Arachnarok Spider is suffering from leadership, but it is doing tremendous damage. It poisons, and it's 380 damage, armor-piercing, anti-large. My Spearmen come back, and they're going to allow my Dragon one more charge, potentially, here. No, we don't get a charge, because the Spearmen just die instantly. And so I just continue fighting against the Arachnarok Spider, and look at that. I get a rout just barely alive in a battle of the ages with the greenskins. So that was one heck of a battle. That was one heck of a battle. That was fun. So Rua gave me the fight of my life, and I really didn't think I was going to win it. But I think there's two important things here, and I'm sure there'll be a couple of people that like, yeah, you kited him, you draw kited like he totally won. That's not how it works, folks. First of all, I didn't crazy cycle charge there, and I could have. I was using what units I had to their strategic advantage. It is not to your strategic advantage to throw a dragon into an like an ill-advised situation, right? So also, you fight until the end. I could have given up. I could have, just given this guy victory, and maybe he would have liked that. Maybe he doesn't. And it's like that Skaven battle that you all saw before this. It's more fun to finish the fight, even if you think you're going to lose. And so I was thinking, you know what, I'm going to lose, but I'm going to give this guy a fight. And I ended up winning. And it kind of makes you wonder how many battles sometimes that we give up on that we have a chance to win if you just get in there and keep fighting. Now, I like my opponent's army for several reasons. Squig Herd, very good against armored infantry, so a very solid pick for the greenskins. These guys trade brilliantly with expensive infantry units. Even if they don't kill them, they just cause a lot of damage, especially if they have a Wa charge going on. So a great unit to bring against the High Elves, I think. Doom Diver gives them a little bit of range in case I also bring some range. If I had brought expensive archers, a Doom Diver is actually pretty darn good at keeping those units in check. So again, I think definitely an advisable pick. A Ragnarok Spider. This gives him a little protection against monsters. I like it. It's a good pick. And, it could be useful potentially against some cavalry or something that it has to as well, because it poisons and it's anti-large. He pairs them up with the Broken Tusk Mob. So greenskins are notoriously pretty bad against large, but he's got a few tools here. Tusk Mob are anti-large armor piercing, Ragnarok's anti-large armor piercing plus poison, and then Morgrub's Mangy Marauders are anti-armor. So the combination of these is pretty good. Plus his mainline infantry with Savage Orc Biggins, which can also be used in an anti-large fashion if they need to, though they're not armor piercing. So he was hoping to challenge me, probably hoping to take on elite infantry units with a combo of Squig Herd and artillery, and then hold off my main units long enough to win the fight, and he darn near did. I was even impressed, how hard those Savage Orcs hit a Swordmaster when they're on Wa. It's insane. Wa is so good. It's so good. Anyway, great game to RUA there, and thank you for it. I definitely appreciated it. Love those close fights and the tough fights. I don't know. I think I'm going to stick on a High Elf kick for a little while. Now, of course, I'll splice in other people's replays where they're playing as different factions, but I kind of really feel like being on a High Elf kick for a bit. Hope you all enjoyed it. Anyway, HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I'll be back with more soon.